The progression of consistent training using stance, height, speed, and softness to deal with minor strains and injuries from daily training. Moving different as we age, difference between young and old, and how it changes the way you practice. Can you talk about that some more?
Well, I think you just answered that whole thing in that statement. It's,
Right.
very much so. Is martial artists, sports people get minor injuries. We're not exempt, especially if you're doing hardcore stuff, push hands, kung fu. Some of it's because you just do too much. And this is a fact when you're using pressure. When I get my teachers to do, say, plug, push, pull, explosion, I allow my students, you may have seen some of the videos, the people watching, I allow my students to offload with everything. Sometimes you get a niggle. And why this happens is just because they're so fast and your nervous system didn't release the tissues quick enough. There's a little lag in time there. Now, the Tai Chi form helps so much with recovery. So I might have had a huge training session, or I've been teaching a workshop. I've done 14 hours teaching over a weekend, and I have a class the next day. I may not do low stance. I may come up a little bit in my stance because my legs are fatigued. Okay, my waist is fatigued, or I've been training when I'm training Micaiah, especially. That guy is beast. And let him, he had to go for it. He had to learn to give everything he got. And the better I made him, the more I had to learn to relax. Because there was all out, and I've had some other really big guys, Andrew Talley, all these guys. And I guess the point we're really trying to make here is that you can use your Tai Chi form to assist you in recovery, not just assist you in maintenance. The rhythmical movement of Tai Chi and the way it affects, the nervous system, the proprioception, especially, the rhythmical stabilization, rhythmical inhibition, how it affects the vagus nerve and how it helps release tissues, move fluid is essential. So it's a fantastic exercise. Even if you're not doing Tai Chi as a martial art, you can use Tai Chi if you're doing MMA.
I was definitely using Tai Chi as my at the end of the day for all the
Yeah,
MMA and
boxing,
Sancho training I was doing. It was like
football,
recovery. It was my recovery training.
exactly. Okay, running. The list is endless. So you can use Tai Chi and some of its associated Qigong as a recovery for many, many things. And here where large frame is the best way. But there is times where you reduce the large to medium or to small. It's better for me to practice. I've had many broken bones in my life, at different stages. A student, or your finger gets hooked up, or you're just crazy stuff happens. I did a tournament once. There was no mats. Come down on my shoulder and did the AC shot. Did I keep practicing? I had class the next day. So all I did was make my frame a little bit smaller and use that as a way of my rehabilitation. And there's some really interesting points you brought forth in regards to Tai Chi Kung Fu, Tai Chi boxing, this large frame, small frame matching together.
It's so crazy in that in the Tai Chi community, the word kung fu is just almost totally ignored. You got to put that time and effort in there, and like when you
Yeah.
learn that one form, once you finally get it, you need to go deep in that one form. You can't just learn the form and be like, okay, I'm ready for the sword form now. Okay, I got the sword form now. Now I want to get the saber form. Okay, now I got the saber form, and you're not going deep in it. And then it's like, okay, and now I'm a teacher. Here I go. You know.
Oh, it's so that classic saying. I woke up this morning and I want to be a Tai Chi teacher.
Hmm. Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
Mom, I'm a Tai Chi teacher now.
Yes. Look, this is fine. It's I come from an angle is that I am working towards building a real good graded system and something where people can get experience and can be taught to teach, but be taught in a way that it's nice and staged and it works. You know, there's nothing wrong wanting to share and help people. But what's crazy is when you're just pulling stuff out of the sky and saying, you know, this is the only way and this is that way and this is that way. It's like, really? You know, come back to a scientific method, come back to a method that encompasses the traditional healing practices with modern Western healing and modern Western science, traditional training, how it all brings it in together. And we can move into a last part of this conversation, which I think is the martial arts aspect of why we train well. We've covered it a little bit in the past. I need to learn to do my language techniques, you know, and that's in the boxing. And now we have this hidden part of Tai Chi, and I was exposed to it for over a decade with my teacher, was he would say, we have Tai Chi boxing. Tai Chi boxing. I don't go to a boxing gym, yet you can see my movements of my boxing is very good. It's like a seasoned boxing, going body movement, gripping and overhanding, long range jabs, you know, boom, straight punch, and how the